Our Nintendo Switch 2 predictions. What will happen during this presentation? We're going to break down hardware features, launch title, end it with the price, and pre-order start date. I'll start with Nintendo Talk. Hardware features. What do you expect from Nintendo when it comes to hardware features?
Yeah, don't let the glasses fool you. I'm not a big techie boy, but I think the console will be good. I think it's gonna run your games at a smooth like 1080 60. I mean, it's 2025. Like that should be the norm, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's not asking too much. I kind of think the reveal trailer that we got that's playing on the screen kind of shows us what they're thinking. I think we're gonna have a lot of comparisons in this direct of Switch 1, Switch 2, because I feel like there are still people that are like, well, why do I need this thing? Mm-hmm. So I think they're going to show off Switch 1 games. I think Metroid is a perfect game to show off because that game looks amazing, but if they can make it look even better, I think that would be awesome. We were just talking Zelda. I feel like that's one of the games that would be amazing to show off in like better frame rate, maybe better load times, better performance, things like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, you're seeing the Joy-Cons transform. I think they're going to do a lot of comparisons with Switch 1 and Switch 2. They have to show a Switch 1 game running on Switch 2. Like they have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not too worried about the screen. I feel like a lot of us are talking about it just because that's the revision that we got with the OLED Switch. So like now we're all like have screens on the brain. But I think, it's a modern gaming console. I think screens won't be the problem. I tend to play my Switch docked anyway, but yeah. I don't think anyone's going to complain about the screen.
I don't think they'll have, kind of like you said, because I was still listening even when I was out for a second. I don't think they'll be like 3 teraflops, 12 GB RAM. It's always like, here's a screen size and powerful processor, Nintendo's most powerful console ever, or maybe something like that, like at the extent of it. But I think it'll be plenty powerful enough, plenty capable enough when we see Nintendo's next iterations of classic titles or anything new. Like if we see something from Monolith Soft, whether it's another Xenoblade game or the one with that woman with the sword and like a little bit of a dive in that, we're like, wow, there is no way that would have run on Nintendo Switch. When we see just how much more in-depth Mario Kart is, you'll see like, dang, that is actually a big jump forward. And the next Zelda, if there is a Metroid Prime 4 version built for that, that's just going to tell the tale. Depending on what third-party games are shown, you're like, okay, that's not on PS4 and Xbox One. That's only on PS5 and Xbox Series. And dang, unless if I'm doing like a frame-by-frame analysis and all this kind of stuff, I wouldn't have known which version am I looking at. I don't know if they'll show it off right away, but I have a feeling that this system with the ability to have a USB Type-C port on the bottom and the top and different grooves means there is going to be some type of attachment functionality to it. Could it be shown right away at this Nintendo Direct? Maybe. And I mean, like, here's a simple secondary screen that you could put on top. By the way, this secondary screen can be your smartphone. Oh. And then that's how you could unlock DS. We will be selling a separate screen that's only $100 to put on top of it and to have your full Nintendo DS, 3DS functionality when DS and 3DS end up coming to NSO as part of our new tier. But even if you don't buy a second screen, we have a little apparatus that's only $30 that lets you put your smartphone in horizontal mode with a little bit of a boop boop and like bam. You know what I mean? Like I could see them doing something like that.
I like everything I'm hearing. I feel like this is going to be the time for Nintendo to get a little bit weird. Maybe they do something similar to the PlayStation Portal, right? Yeah. That like if you want to sit on the couch and play, and it's the main thing is DS games and like Mario Maker, right? To be able to play, to create stages with a stylus, but and or the mouse. So that kind of throws a monkey wrench in everything too, right? The mouse functionality. I think we're going to see more than, because I don't know about you guys, but we buy pro controllers because we don't want to play with the split Joy-Con, and nice. I don't know how many of us are going to want to turn the Joy-Con on its side and play versus just there's probably going to be a mouse that they sell if there's going to be a mouse functionality, right? So we might see something like that. I wouldn't be I wouldn't be too shocked if we did see something NSO related for GameCube. And just for the fun of it, I'm going to throw Wii out there because I don't hear a lot of people mention this. But I would love to see a wireless GameCube controller and the Wii remote and the nunchuck make their way back as well. Only because I know how much nostalgia I had for the NES and the Super Nintendo controller, but the generation that grew up with the Wii, to be able to play like Wii Sports and Sunshine and Galaxy and Galaxy 2, like that would also give us the opportunity to then play all the Metroids, right? And it would, the other thing it would do is give opportunity for people to play the very first Animal Crossing and bring Smash Melee into the mix. So they could say, hey, play these games while you wait for the next one, right? So I may be in the minority. I'm okay if there's not any other like big gimmick outside of the mouse functionality, because I don't even know if that's something I'm going to touch unless Nintendo creates some games that really work well for it, right? Like 1-2 Switch was a very strange game, but my kids sat and played that way longer than I thought they would. And doing the marbles and the Joy-Con and the HD Rumble, like it was the kind of thing that you would always show somebody if they came over to see the Switch for the first time.
Does it play Zelda? That is my requirement for me to buy a system. Does it play Zelda?
Okay.
But I do like what a lot of you have said already. I wouldn't. I feel really good about this direct because I feel like I have no idea what to really expect. Yeah. I think yesterday's direct was almost a test run of how they might do things. We're going to show.
Say that.
No, but I mean that in a good way. I liked yesterday's direct.
I'm messing with you, Jersey. I'm messing with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because what I mean is, like we think it's the end of the presentation, then Miyamoto jumps out. Hey, by the way,
right?
We got a new app. You should like totally, So I kind of don't know what to expect next week. So I kind of like, what you guys were saying about maybe they will do a side-by-side comparison, because I have always said this: we have to know why we need a Switch. Gamers, exactly. we get understand more power, better running games, even better than what we already were happy with. We understand that the regular public doesn't understand that all the time. I hope by calling it Switch 2, because that's something we've all been screaming since we found out it was a thing. So we're glad about that. There's that hint, and then I think showing the actual comparisons is something that they can also show off, like in game stores. Like, this is why you need the new shiny toy.
The gimmick is the two, man. The gimmick are the games. Like, we need good games. There's a lot of rumors about a second screen, and while I do like what Paul said, I don't know, man. I don't think we need all that stuff. Like, do we really need to play a 3DS game? No, go get a 3DS. I think the mouse thing is good. The C button, we don't know what that's going to be yet. But, like, the mouse is all we need. That's like a huge gimmick. That is huge. So
probably like a cat thing. Cats. Something to control your cat. Control your cat.
HDR screen.
Awesome.
1080p screen. It's going to be 120 hertz. I do believe all that's going to happen. I do think they'll show off mouse controls. They're not going to talk about DLSS, but for anyone who can see it, they'll know. Yeah. It's going to be present. I do think magnetic Joy-Cons will 100% check out. SD Express is going to check out. What I want to see, Switch 1 enhanced games, I want that to be a thing. And I say that plural, not just Metroid, not just Zelda. I want that to be something that is widespread and open to third-party developers to do a patch for the game. PlayStation's done it. Xbox has done it. I think they've done an excellent job with it. I've taken advantage of this on multiple games, probably at least 20 games. And it's far superior playing the PS5 version. It makes a huge difference, and it's always worth it.
Yeah.
Whether it's free, $10 or $20 sometimes, it's always been worth it. I want to see DualSense controller capabilities. somewhere along those lines in my new Switch 2 Pro controller. The DualSense is an amazing controller, amazing piece of technology. I think it's the best controller easily on the market.
Yeah, I agree.
And so I'd love to see Nintendo take advantage of that because I think they will be very creative. Nintendo and, of course, Monolith, Retro. I think they do an excellent job with that sort of tech. Again, for hardware, I think this is going to play into hardware, and there's really not a category I can fit this into, but better eShop, trophies, achievements. I want to see all that. There are a large group of people who won't play games that are multi-platform on Nintendo because they want to get trophies or they want to get achievements, and they're part of that ecosystem. And if Nintendo did their own ecosystem, then they won't lose anybody. They could really improve their sales, and I think third parties would be very happy, and you want to keep them happy.
Yeah.
Here's a big one that I really want to see is improved emulation. And what I mean by that is I think Nintendo should be the best place to play all of Nintendo's back catalog of games. I should not be able to play better versions of Nintendo games thanks to hobbyist weekend warrior developers who don't even do this as a job.
That's a good segue to software. 2 launch titles, day one. Give me 2 year one titles, that system sellers, and give me 2 third-party titles.
Mario Kart and Metroid. And I really think Metroid needs to be there at launch and take advantage of the attach rate that you get at a console launch. I mean, they see Ubisoft take advantage of that every single console launch. Metroid could really benefit from that. So those are my 2 Nintendo launch titles. Third-party launch titles, Elden Ring. I expect that.
Elden Ring, huh?
And I expect Final Fantasy VII Remake 100%. The year one Nintendo titles, 2 more. 3D Mario, 100%.
Year one title, 3D Mario.
I do think it would be a really smart move, and I'm sure this is something that would make Nintendo Talk clearly happy, but Mario Kart is such a excellent evergreen title. It's your driver.
Yep.
And it can be. You know, you can literally add cups in Mario Kart as DLC from other Nintendo IP and advertise those games within a game.
Yep.
It's very smart. But it's an evergreen game. And Animal Crossing is very much an evergreen game. And you cut it off so early with Switch 1. I believed from the beginning there was a reason why they cut it off that early, because they want to get it out of the gate within that launch window. So the first year. And it would make a ton of sense to get that out early and to make this a game that is constantly updated, constantly new DLC, evergreen, just like Mario Kart. So those are my choices.
I like it. I like the fact that they can do with Animal Crossing what they did with Mario Kart and even Smash. Like, don't release every villager at the same time. Give us a core line of villagers, and then maybe later on introduce new villagers into the that would give us incentive to kick people out. And then,
a consistent drip feed.
Mario Kart, Metroid, I completely agree with Stash. Like, Metroid needs that extra boost of like, hey, I just bought the Switch 2. There's not a lot of games here. Let me grab Metroid. For third party, I'm gonna go with probably kind of the low hanging fruit, but I'm gonna go with Call of Duty and Madden.
Awesome. I like those 2 picks. Just Madden.
Because I think if there was if we did somewhat of a poll, you would probably find that a lot of people that play COD play Madden, and those are kind of their only 2 games they buy every year.
You're right.
And so just to be able to have those on the go, like whenever not that you're necessarily going to play COD on the go. Like, I get it, the short throw on those sticks is not all that great, but like Madden is a perfect on the go game.
Those are awesome picks, and let's go over Joycey.
I don't know. I just made a list. So this is what I came up with so far. I think 3D Mario is going to be a launch game. I think Mario Kart is coming a little bit later in the launch year because I think the Mario Kart that we saw in the Switch 2 reveal, whatever that was.
Yeah.
Sir. I was like, that doesn't look like it's even done. So it's like somebody literally like did a quick little screen grab, not even from the final product or anything. And then of course, Metroid Prime 4, I do think that's going to be a launch game. Now, if it's a launch title or if it comes a little bit later in the year, I don't know. Call of Duty was on my list as well. Whether that's launch or it's going to be somewhere in the launch. And then I also think Final Fantasy. I don't know which one, but I think we're going to get some of the more recent games because Square Enix, I swear, they're like dying to get something on Switch too.
They are.
Tell us about it.
All right, Paul. You ready for your 2 and 2?
2 launch from Nintendo. I think it's Mario Kart and Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. I think just Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is going to get a Nintendo Switch 2 version, especially after we saw that recent thing. You know what I'm talking about? Where there'll be Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive games and Nintendo Switch 2 version games. I think Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is going to be those one that really touts the Nintendo Switch 2 version games. 2 year one titles, Super Mario 3D. I'm going to just say it because I want it to happen really bad, and that is a brand new Star Fox. At launch or in general? Okay, well, we'll go with in general. In general, Grand Theft Auto 6. I think GTA 6 comes over. I think it's a big powerhouse move, and I think that Shiver Entertainment that Nintendo acquired, it might be one of their big projects working directly with Take-Two and stuff like that. So I'm going to go with GTA 6 or Doom Dark Ages. I'll just say that because I don't know. Yeah. I don't know officially. So Doom Dark Ages or Call of Duty of some sort, because both of those are under the Microsoft helm.
Yeah, I think launch game, you're going to get your Mario Kart. So yeah, I think we're going to get Mario Kart. Makes sense. I mean, that's a great way to sell console. I made a prediction video, and in my prediction video, I said, what about like a Mario Workshop type thing where it's like kind of like your Wii Sports thing, but it has to all do with the mouse. So you'll have like a new Mario Paint. You'll have I don't know, it'll be like a mini game collection. Some like budget title you can just pick up alongside Mario Kart. Something
I agree. We need that gimmick game that kind of is going to show off the new features, right?
Yeah, something like that. And then Metroid, I really do think so. I was on the fence for a long time, but it looks so far like it's done. The game is done. It's ready to, we need it. It's going to be, I really think that if they don't launch it with Switch 2, I think that'll be a mistake. You don't want to dump this game off randomly at the end of the year where it's like an afterthought. I think a couple games that would make a huge statement, college football. Dude, that was like the biggest freaking third-party game last year. The newest college football, I think you put on there Madden. I mean, some kind of sports game. And then Doom, just to show off again, we can handle these games. You need brand new third-party games to really make a statement. So, that's one. Year one games, I feel like not a lot of people are talking about this, and it might be too soon. Splatoon 4. I think Splatoon 4 comes over, man. And normally I wouldn't say that, but it's a new console. So, the timeline doesn't matter anymore. Put Splatoon 4 on. It's another multiplayer offering. Like Josh was saying, make a console for it. You get a little special edition. Nintendo loves their Splatoon. They want to be an esports brand so bad, but I don't know if Splatoon is going to be that. But yeah, Splatoon 4, put that on there. And then I do agree with the 3D Mario. I think it's the anniversary, dude. You got a 3D Mario. So yeah, and I do. Regarding Animal Crossing, I think we do get a Rhythm Heaven type moment where they do announce it this year. But it'll be 2026.
I have to change to Metroid because I agree. Metroid at the beginning of the system, at the launch title, will help the franchise sell more. Luigi's Mansion 4 for launch title. I'm gonna go left field. Year one, I'm gonna bring in Animal Crossing. Okay, Animal Crossing, and I'm gonna bring in Mario Kart. Those are the top two selling games on Nintendo Switch right now. They're both top sellers. I think I'm agreeing with Joycey that Mario Kart might not be launch title, just because there is that rumor of the Nintendo Switch Mario Kart edition that they might want to push on the holiday season, then launch Mario Kart with that. You know, so it kind of makes sense if they do have that Mario Kart 9 Nintendo Switch version edition. Which, by the way, Mario Kart has never had an edition Switch. This will be the first one on Switch 2. Then they want to launch it alongside that. It's a big system seller, big holiday seller. So yeah, Mario Kart 9 and Animal Crossing will be year one titles.
Oh my god, dude!
And
good luck getting a Switch 2.
For real.
Gee.
I mean, don't they? Look at the balloons. Third party support. I am going to go with Doom Dark Ages because that was announced, and Assassin's Creed Shadows. Bonus questions for the chat before we go into a Q&A. Big surprise of the night or of the presentation. Big surprise of the presentation. Try to be as surprising as possible. Surprising. Let's start with Intent Talk. Big surprise of the presentation.
Maybe
that
Zelda.
is a fact. I agree with this fact. The surprise will be a game.
Because it's Joyce's birthday, I'm going to say the big surprise is Zelda.
Awesome.
Oh.
Awesome.
Let's speak it into existence, y'all. Let's speak it into existence.
I'll add one to that. Next year is a very special year for one of our legendary franchises. The 40th anniversary, in fact. Please enjoy. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time full big shebang remake.
Oh my god.
All right. That's a big surprise.
Please call it that, the full shebang remake.
That's a proper terminology.
Let's go over that. Let's go over pricing. By the way, while we go over pricing, you guys can go ahead and go ahead and put your questions in the chat. We'll take up to 10 questions to answer right at the end, and then that'll be good. So, yeah, go ahead. Intent Talk, pricing and pre-order date.
All right, I have the script from Nintendo, guys. If you don't want to be spoiled, pre-orders will go up Friday the 4th. I think that's going to happen, and it will be $3.99 with a bundle that will also be available, Switch 2 and Mario Kart for $4.49.
Ooh, I love that. I love those prices.
And that's a no-brainer because games are probably going to be like $70. So
yeah.
You get the bundle.
Yeah. I like it. What do you think, Thunderstash?
Would you go for the release date?
Ooh. Release date? I'm going to go like June. I think early June.
Early June, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, yeah. Price point, release date, pre-order date.
Okay, yeah. So for price, $3.99.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chance they could do multiple SKUs for sure. And I think it could have a pack-in title. And I do think it would be Mario Kart. I think it would be $4.49 if they do that.
Yeah.
With their digital games.
Yeah, it'll be digital
game
unfortunately. Yeah. As far as date for pre-orders, I mean, I think it's either going to be on the 2nd or the 9th.
Okay.
That's the current rumor. The 9th entered, the conversation earlier today. And for the date, I'll stick with May 15th.
Paul, what do you think? Not $3.99.95 like in the 80s. $3.95.95.
I'll go with my usual. It's kind of a cop out, but between May 15th and June 27th.
I'd put money down on that. That's a great range.
It's a great range. It's pretty safe. And and a pre-order. I really like my Nintendo Switch Online limited time exclusive pre-order opportunity pitch, that whole thing. But I don't know if they'll do it. If they do it, I'll say April 3rd for 1 week exclusive for NSO members. If they don't, then I think April 4th is just fair. So if they do it, I think they go April 3rd through April 9th is just for NSO members to lock it in. And then publicly, boom, April 9th for everyone, for all retail outlets and all that stuff.
I think $3.99 like everybody else.
No.
$4.50 at the highest, but I know that Nintendo doesn't usually like to go too close to what the other consoles are doing. Pre-order, I think pre-order is going to happen anywhere from that same day to a week to the following week. Or so if it doesn't happen that day, then I think it'll be the following week. And then as far as actual release, I know what the rumors say. The rumors are saying May, and I know there's a June rumor out there. And I just kind of feel like anytime May through June makes sense. Really, anytime after the April 2nd Direct to me makes sense, because, okay, if they were to drop pre-orders April 2nd and then they're shipping them out the end of April, that makes sense to me too.
Yeah.
The stuff's there's a whole lot of shipments already here, and it's an extremely quick turnaround time. So I can see that, but then I can also see why it would be May. So give us a chance to push the system. In June, everybody's, going, a lot of people for summer break are going on summer vacations. Kids are out of school. Families are taking off of work, and go on vacation. They want to get this in your hand while you're, out and about. So that's what I think. Watch us be all wrong. It all happens all on April 2nd. We have to pre-order. Yeah, it's like $700. It's on we pre-order and we have to go pick it up from the same day.
Pre-order. I mean, starting price, pre-order date, and release date.
I think $350.
$350.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that because again, we've all watched consoles through the generations, right?
Yep.
And they've been up and down. Probably the best that we've ever seen is from PS4 to PS5. Nintendo's on the verge of selling the most consoles they've ever sold, and they hit the sweet spot on pricing to end up putting multiple Switches in houses. I'm more hoping that it's $350 for the fact that I think that's really a sweet spot for having multiple, because 2 of those is $700, right? That's still a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but that's also the price of the PS5 Pro. I mean, with the news that came out today, the 9th does make sense. So I'll sit with that one. And then what was the other?
The release
actual launch date?
Yeah.
I hope it's sooner than later. I'm ready for new Mario Kart. I'm banking on there being a new Mario Kart, and I'm ready to play some Mario Kart. So I'm gonna go with a stash and say the 15th.
So I have to say this because I've said it before. I have to agree with Josh. I've been saying that Nintendo normally waits for tech to go down in price before they jump, and purchase, chips and screens, and you see what they did with the LCD screen to keep costs low. They could have gone with OLED. There's no reason why not, right? And so with that, I've always said, okay, so it's $349 to $399. They might, if they eliminate the OLED, like we've been talking about, they might just remove the OLED and keep the base model and the light. If they remove the OLED, that's a good starting point. $359. Pre-order date, I'm going to say this. Have your money ready by April 2nd. Don't believe all the other dates out there. I know there's a lot of dates out there, but it's always better to be careful and be safe and be ready than not to be ready, right? And, you have your money ready, your pre-order money ready for April 2nd. The worst thing that could happen is it's the following week. Well, you're still ready, right? But if you're not ready by April 2nd, the worst thing that can happen is that the pre-order starts on April 2nd, and you're not ready to pre-order, and the first batch of pre-orders sell out, and then you have to wait. Release date. I'm gonna go with Steve. I'm gonna go May 15.
All right.
May 15. With that one, I don't think Nintendo's gonna wait too long from this presentation to release. Let me go ahead and Boo Mini, thank you so much for that super chat. Do you think they will show or tease a Zelda game next week? If so, which one?
Oh,
you wanna answer it, birthday girl?
So my thought process is, I feel like they, after listening to everybody tonight, I kind of feel like they will show something. If I had to really guess, because of the fact that Anuma said no comment in that article when they asked him if there was an Ocarina of Time remake.
Yep.
If I were a betting woman, I would bet that we would get the big shebang, however Paul put it, Ocarina of Time. The only other thing that I can see that makes sense is, of course, more movie news. Well, all of these make sense. More movie news. We get a tease of the next big game, because that's all the Zelda fan base needs to keep them talking for about a year and a half.
Exactly.
And or it could be a remake or port of Twilight Princess Wind Waker.
All right, my friends, thank you guys so much for watching. You have been watching the Nintopics Podcast with one of the best crews ever. Make sure to catch our guests on their channels and support them well. Subscribe to everyone. And I'll see you in the next adventure here at the Odyssey. But before,
Never give up.
never give
That's
up.
right. Don't do that because we need
right.
you.
Never give up. Never give up. And I think Nintendo Talk knows this one.
Save money because Switch 2 is going to be expensive.
And that's the one.
Yes,
That's
very good
Off.
advice.
That's a good one. And journey on, my friends.